Ooh, that's not what I wanted. I hit the wrong button. I apologize. F2 is going to go ahead and give us our animation. That's the start of our little saying. Any. F3, polygons. Okay. Any. I'm going to hit F2, F3, F4, F5, F6. Okay. And if you notice, I'm going to go ahead and hit them from the beginning. Any project surface demands rendering. Okay, so there is a couple of the actual names in there of the actual shelf, but not all of them. But it's a nice little way to help you actually remember it. And I did come up with that all by myself, so I'm just going to go ahead and pat myself on the back. And that's something that Bear did quiz us on, and if you are retaking that quiz, it's going to be on there. Okay, let's go over our keys now. Alt and the left key is going to go ahead and turn our perspective view right now. That's what this window is. It's perspective. Alt and right key, rotating on the grid, up and down, left and right. All right. Holding down the middle mouse button, the roller, and Alt is going to let you truck from right to left. Okay. Holding down the Alt and right key is going to allow you to zoom in smoothly in and out. Now, if you were to use the roller, you can also zoom in and out, but you notice it's a little more choppy because it does it in increments. Let's see, I'm going to go back over here like this, zoom out. Now, if you notice down here in the left-hand portion of the screen, you're going to find the Y, X, and Z axis right here, and that's what everything is based on right here. Y being up, and if I go to my move tool, which is what? Move tool is W, and select an object, Y axis right here, going up and down, the right going to back and forth on the X right here like that, and then Z going this way. All right. You'll also notice up here that things change. Okay. And the translate, and things have a plus and a negative. Okay, if I go above it, obviously it's plus. If I go below it, it's going to be negative on the Y right here. Things are changing. And the same thing with Z and the X. Right now, moving the Z, if I go past it to a point right here, it's going one way, it's plus. If I go back, it's going to be negative. All right, and the same thing applies for the X axis. Got your view cube up here. If you go ahead and click the view cube, all right, I've clicked on front. You can go ahead left. It will change it automatically. All right, back. All right, right. It's a good way. If you click the home button, a good way to get back to square one, and it puts you back and everything. Now you're looking for, because sometimes it can get confusing, you know, upside down. Everything's completely upside down right now, but you know, hey, it really does look like, you know, the perspective window still is, you know, correct. So, you know, another way. So you definitely want to make sure, you know, you keep an eye on things down here. And a lot of people say they really don't like the view cube, to be totally honest. But you go ahead and click on this, you know, little home button right up here. It will bring you back. Okay, down here we have the range slider and the time slider. Here you'll see the time slider, okay, and the range slider that allows you to navigate between the within the timeline, different points throughout the timeline. Right now, this window here tells us that we have 120 frames that are accessible to work with. If you wanted to make your scene longer, you know, you could, you know, just add more here. You know, so if I want to make it 160, you know, and hit enter. Okay, now, oh, it's still at 120. Oh, there it is. So now we have 160 to work with here. Now you can see right now 120 says right here, 160 right here, 160 right here, 120 right here. Here's the beginning of my timeline. Here's the end of my timeline. Here is the beginning of the range slider. Here's the end of the range slider. Okay, so right now it's showing that we have 120 to 160 frames. Now, if I only wanted to work with frames 150 through 160, I'd simply just go over here and type in 150, hit enter. Now you can see that the range slider has gotten a lot smaller, and you can see that the time slider is a lot wider as well, showing us only frames between 150 and 160. And you can get more detailed and less detailed by zooming in on the timeline, by just clicking on the range slider and sliding it back and forth. And then this will allow you, sliding it back down, allow you to go all the way to the beginning of the timeline, and so on and so forth. So that's that. Let's see. The orthographic views and the perspective views are another thing that we need to cover. Right now we are in perspective view, and that's what we're looking at right now. Holding down the Alt and left click button, we're able to navigate through that and see what we got going on. Now over here, you'll see the perspective view tab, and then there's the orthographic views. If we click on that right there, we see 4 windows come up. And labeled on the bottom of each one of them is what they are. And this is top, perspective, side, and front. Now you can navigate through these windows just the same as perspective, to a limit, of course. Holding down Alt and the left click button will not let me rotate or glide, I should say, through this window here, although it will let me through this one. Okay, I can truck by holding down the the Alt button and the middle mouse key will allow me to truck through it, as it will on the front view, as it will on the side view as well. But you can see that this sphere here is not right on flush with the grid. So if I were to highlight one of those, and I do have my move tool selected, what's the hotkey for move? It is W, up top quick. So I can take one of these little handles and slide it, okay? But I can also do this, and I can bring it right down to the bottom. If I wanted to get a little closer here, just zoom right in. I could truck right down to the bottom of it, and I could slide it up. And I could also do this in this window, or here's another one from the front. I could do it there too. Or I can also adjust. I know I'm adjusting things on the Y-axis right now, so I could highlight that right now, and then right-click in this window right here, and slide up and down, back and forth, and get it right just like that. Now it is 100% flush. I can see it here. I can see it on the front view, the side view. It's a little harder to see actually on, you can't see it on the top or the perspective view, but I know that it's sitting flush on there now, and that's a good way to ensure that. These windows, very valuable. If I hover my mouse over any window and hit the space bar, it will create a full-size window for that, and hitting space bar will return it. Same with the top or any other view. Now, if I were to have hit this this one here, this window here is our outliner window, okay, on the side here. Now, if I were to go in the perspective view here and hit spacebar, it brings us, it gets rid of the outliner window, and I hit spacebar again, it brings back the outliner window because that was the last one that I had clicked on before I hit spacebar. So we've hit the outliner, and we do see our different objects in here, and you can rename them in here as well. Double click on them, and you could rename them if you wanted to. It helps you keep track of all your different objects in your scene. And here's your different windows. Here are your different perspectives, orthographic. I'm sorry. Let's get rid of that window right there. The next thing